Welcome to the SpringGR Show. Thank you for trusting SpringGR as your go-to resource for business insights, growth strategies, and entrepreneurial support. We are dedicated to providing you with tools and knowledge to build a thriving and sustainable business. My name is Allie. I am your SpringGR expert host. Let's get into the episode. So many businesses and entrepreneurs hit a plateau without realizing what's holding them back. This episode will uncover the blind spots that can stall business growth and how to address them effectively. Alicia James, a seasoned business expert, shares insights on what entrepreneurs often overlook and how they can take their business to the next level. Throughout the conversation, we'll also highlight SpringGR's programs, resources, and community support that helps business owners fill in these gaps and reach new levels of success. Alicia.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I also love that your intro made me sound super professional, only to explain that I have screwed up enough times to be considered seasoned.
That is not what the goal was. That was not the goal.
But it's accurate. It takes me a while to learn and absorb things that I probably should have listened to the first time.
And as entrepreneurs, are we not ever growing? Are we not constantly evolving?
And honestly, if we're not stubborn, I don't know how you make it through the entrepreneurial journey.
That is completely true. Now, for the listeners, who are you and what do you do?
I am Alicia James, and I'm the owner and founder of Flamingo Consulting. We are a full-service digital marketing agency based here in West Michigan. It really started as something to do as I left my corporate job to become a full-time parent and mom to my first of 3 children. And as my kids got older, it started picking up steam, and I realized that I didn't really want to go back into the corporate world. I really liked wearing yoga pants and working from my couch.
Yoga pants are great.
And so it just continued to grow and brought in more experts in the different marketing fields. And now we are a team of, I think we're 8 right now. Most of us working full-time in the business, and then I'm still able to do all of the momming things. And now as a single mom, that also means juggling all of my kid things. It gives me all the flexibility I need. And it's thriving and growing, and I'm so excited for all the businesses we get to help. I also am a co-founder of a women's leadership event company called Kaleidoscope Effect.
All right now.
Which is amazing, and you should absolutely learn more about it, but that's not what we're here for.
No.
And I am just fully immersed in entrepreneurism around West Michigan. Either it's coaching, supporting, cheering on, offering advice, doing podcasts, anything I can do to help business owners continue to grow.
All good things. And we really appreciate that. And I think that you were absolutely the perfect choose and perfect pick for our topic today, which is, what am I missing as an entrepreneur? Because as entrepreneurs, we kind of sometimes fumble through life. We fumble through business, and we don't really know what we're missing until it's too late, right? And so SpringGR helps mitigate that a little bit by having these programs. If you guys don't already know, SpringGR has accelerator programs that are 14 weeks long that help cultivate and grow entrepreneurs, whether you're in the idea stage or whether you're taking it to the next level. Alicia, what program did you go through?
I just in December completed the next level program with SpringGR, and I have to say it was incredible. It was completely game changing for me in the business. I mean, over that period, it was amazing to see the shifts in my team, the shifts in my business, the things that I mean, even 10 years in, I didn't realize that I was ignoring or just getting in my own way.
Yeah.
And it was slowing down the growth of my business. And even now it's moved into a huge expansion period, which is just, it's out of control. It's amazing.
It's growing.
It's
growing. And I love that for you. I love the success that you've had, because you recently just had an event, didn't you?
We did. For Kaleidoscope Effect, we had an event in January. So on top of very quickly scaling digital marketing agency that's now expanding outside of West Michigan and actively growing in new areas, it's also juggling putting together a full-scale, essentially an elite dinner party event with ball gowns and podcast recordings and a multi-course meal. And it was just incredible to connect with women. But all of these things juggling along, there's no way prior to Next Level that I could have managed, because there were so many things that I was doing the hard way or the wrong way.
Absolutely.
For my business.
Absolutely. And I'm an alumni too. So with me being an alumni, I went through the SBA program, which is our Small Business Accelerator. So the Small Business Accelerator helps businesses who have made at least $1,000 or more.
Yep.
And the goal is to have our SBA graduates get to the Next Level program. And we provide a vast amount of resources. So one of the resources that you took advantage of was our coaching.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
The coaching, the option for coaching, I think makes all the difference, because while we are really, really good at, I mean, I can sit and read papers and books and about the theory of a business, but to have somebody be able to guide me through, okay, so this is a great theory, how do we put it into practice for you? Or now we know that we were doing this in a way that wasn't helping us. How do we actually turn the ship? It's great to know where I'm supposed to be at the ending, but how do I actually make that pivot?
Exactly. And that ties into what you're missing as an entrepreneur, because sometimes you need that expert leadership. You need that hand holding as you're making those decisions.
Or, in all honesty, sometimes you need somebody to smack you upside the head and going, what are you doing?
That too.
I mean, like I said in the beginning, I'm really stubborn. And sometimes it's like, no, I'm not going to do it this way. This is the way I'm supposed to do it. This is the way that I want to. But a lot of times that decision, even like before this, was based on fear, not based on actual real reasons to not do something.
Right.
And it was funny because I was working with the coach, and in the very beginning he said, I think you should expand. I think you should stop focusing just on West Michigan. I think you need to grow a little bit further. I'm like, no. No, I am West Michigan. I am West Michigan business. This is where I'm going to stay.
Yeah.
By the end, I'm like, I think I'm going to expand.
Yeah, maybe it'd be smart.
I think I might want to get a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
He's like, I told you.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said it nicely, though. It was not like
rude.
It was not a rude, I told you, but he kind of like chuckled, and I'm like, yes, I know.
Yeah.
I know you told me.
And what's great is that even after coaching, because coaching does end when you finish the program, we have mentors. So we have individuals who have volunteered their time to take the next step alongside you and provide expert guidance in that way past the program. So it's an ongoing relationship.
And I think that's the part that's really the most surprising for me. You know, when I had never worked with SpringGR before joining the Next Level program.
Yeah.
It was on a whim. It was like a, hey, FAFO, let's try it, kind of thing for me. And so I didn't realize the amount of support that came on the back end.
Yeah.
So I thought I was just, okay, after this course, I'm out, I'm back to the streets doing things the way
You're
I
on
think.
your own.
Good luck. And the amount of support and connection, and even working with other grads, like, you know, connecting with you and the coaches and the mentors, and just even like the ongoing support and little like seminars and classes that are there just blew me away. Like there was no drop. It was just, okay, now you're part of this elite alumni group.
Correct.
And there's so much that's in there and so much value, even beyond a course that really changed my business.
Exactly. And let's talk about the alumni network, okay? We have over 1,300 graduates.
Yes.
We have over 1,300 alumni that have businesses that are growing, that are thriving. So being able to be a part of a network so vast without really having to do any additional networking.
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy. That's crazy, because your entrepreneurship is so lonely. It can
really
be
is.
so lonely if you allow it to be. So if you have a built-in network like this, it's invaluable. It's invaluable.
And the number of industries that are in there is so vast. Chances are, if there's something you need, a marketer, an accountant, somebody with a law background, somebody to help you with drywall or painting your new office, there's somebody in that network that I know is doing a great job, that I know is leading a responsible local business, that I can go, I need help from you.
Yeah.
And it's been invaluable to have all of those connections that are just far reaching and wide. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's been a great experience to be able to see all of the entrepreneurs grow and the alumni being able to connect and network in that way. So for you, in your subject matter expertise, what are some of the most common mistakes that you see among early stage entrepreneurs? So the people who are in the Idea Lab program.
Yeah. I think, so everybody gets into business not because they know business, want to be a business owner. It's because they have a product or a service that does really well, or that they're getting great feedback on, or your family says, oh my gosh, your cakes are so good, you should sell them. That is why people get into business. But a lot of them don't have the background in business. So we don't know what we don't know. So we just kind of try to fake it. Right? Like we set a price. We don't necessarily know why we picked a price. It just seems reasonable. Or
I'd pay for it.
I wouldn't pay this much, but even a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we're setting our price too low because we know how to do it.
Right.
I know how to do marketing. I know how to content. It's so easy. I can't charge that much.
Right.
When in reality, you're offering an amazing service or an amazing product. So it's even things like setting your price. What do expenses look like? How do you even track expenses? At the end of the year, you're trying to figure out how to do your taxes and you have no idea.
And money is scary.
Oh.
Making money?
Queen of terrified. During accounting week for the Next Level program, I literally sat in my car hyperventilating and crying before I walked in.
Because
I am so terrified to talk about, look at money. I'm like, this was my big issue. I could not look at the numbers beyond just, can I pay my team? Do I have enough money to pay my bills? That was it.
And that's enough. So, and that's the scary part. So it's good to know that you're not alone. No. Like people, this is real. This is real. And this is a blind spot that many entrepreneurs just look past. So being able to have a financial plan, being able to have like that almost blueprint, that template that they can go along with.
100%. And then being able to have a face to put with something. You know, for me, numbers are, like I said, utterly terrifying. And all I think of it as is QuickBooks loaded on my computer, and it's scary, and there's lots of things to click, and I don't even know what I'm doing, and I don't want to touch it, so I just close it and walk away. And go get a cup of coffee. But even having somebody like the mentors that were here for that accounting support, Militia, who, by the way, is amazing. Shout out to Militia.
Love her.
Even having a face or a person, even if she kind of gave that blueprint and I was able to go through and figure out how to do it myself, it felt less intimidating because there was a real person. It didn't feel like this faceless, terrifying prospect. And it makes all the difference. And all of these programs, I mean, how would you learn QuickBooks? I'm a mom.
There's no teaching.
I'm a mom of 3 and I have a business. How am I supposed to sit down for 2.5 hours trying to figure out QuickBooks from YouTube videos? Don't get me wrong. YouTube University is a thing and it is wonderful.
I have graduated multiple times.
I think I have a master's degree in a couple things.
At this point.
Right. But I don't have the time and capacity to sit down and do this, especially if I'm already afraid of it. I'm already intimidated.
Exactly.
And what if my business is doing well and I'm spending all of my time doing my business instead of thinking about where am I going to be in 3 to 4 months?
Right.
And these programs help you think more long-term instead of I have to make this product or I have to do this service in exchange for this and then I move on to the next one.
Absolutely.
It's that mapping and that planning that just changes everything
about it. And it's drastic. So in your experience, why do you think entrepreneurs struggle to identify what's missing?
I think the first one is you don't know what you don't know. So you don't know it's broken. You're just like, oh, it works for me for today.
Yeah.
That's a great for a while.
But it's not sustainable.
It's ever. It's never. It's great in theory because it's comfortable, right? You take a step, it works for you, you think, and then you figure out how to bootstrap it at the end. I think the other piece is as entrepreneurs, we talked about how lonely it can be. We also look at other entrepreneurs and go, that person has it all together. They know what they're doing. I don't want them to know that I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm afraid to ask for help. And so we don't want to look weak in our business. So we're afraid to ask for help short of specific programs and being able to go to one person and mentor. The scariest thing I've ever done is going and speaking to a possible mentor and asking like, hey, I think I need help.
Yeah.
Like that was terrifying because what if they laugh? What if they're like, you don't need me? Or what if, even worse, what if it's something that I know I need, but I feel like I can't afford?
And what's crazy is that there's a level of vulnerability with that.
There is, and that is very uncomfortable.
Transparency.
In normal life. But then add in that this is a business, and what if this person thinks less of me or takes my inexperience and runs away with it and it ruins my reputation? Or what if I don't even know what to ask for?
What do I do then?
That's really where a great coach or a great program comes in, because going through this program, there were sections that didn't feel like I needed them all the time. There's sections on marketing, kind of didn't need that piece.
Yeah.
But there were so many pieces that I was able to find the gaps in my own business design to really go, okay, so maybe that's not something that needs more designing. This piece, though, really needs to be figured out. And it helps you find the gaps that you didn't even know to ask about.
Exactly. And many entrepreneurs don't realize the importance of community and structured support, right? So SpringGR's Next Level program kind of helps business owners identify and address their blind spots, right? So how can entrepreneurs benefit from programs like this, not just with SpringGR, but just in general?
I think it's equally what you're learning and who you're connecting with and who's in the room. I mean, whether that's colleagues that are in the course. I mean, I still text once a week with the people I graduated Next Level with, and we're just checking in on each other. How are you? One just opened a new space, so we're celebrating that. All of these different steps and connections. Those people were in the room, but also what connections did I make from the organizers? What connections can they make for me when I know I'm going in this direction? Do you have somebody that can support that?
Exactly.
But then also the actual coursework, it being structured makes things so much easier, because you're not trying to guess on what the gaps are.
Yeah.
When you're first working with a coach, or you're first working with an independent person, it gets really overwhelming to go, I don't know what to ask for. And sometimes they don't know necessarily enough about your business to get started.
Right.
And let's be honest, not all coaches are created equal, and not all mentors are created equal. Some are great with certain topics, but if that wasn't necessarily your weak spot,
you wouldn't know.
A program like this that's structured and curriculum-based makes it so much easier to identify, okay, I know this is an issue. So you know what? I'm going to go spend some time with Alicia, and I'm going to go pay for her support and pay for her services, because I know that she can help me, because this is my real gap.
Absolutely. So let's kind of shift a little bit, because many entrepreneurs believe that working harder is the key to success. So why is this a flawed mindset?
Okay, so I don't think I've ever thought that. However, because I'm inherently lazy, I want to do as little as humanly possible.
Of course.
Right, I want to make it as simple as possible. But I think it's inherently flawed, because there are only so many hours in the day that you can work, which means if you're only trading dollars for hours, and that's all it's translating to, you are going to completely cap yourself out, and you're essentially working for a business instead of being an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
You're working simply as an exchange for time. In reality, creating systems and structures that allow you to step back allows you to scale faster. It allows you to bring in help when you need it. And God forbid, I know, entrepreneurs, this is scary, but you can leave on vacation. You can walk away sometimes. I know. It's scary, right? But there should be opportunities, and there should be systems in place that allow you to step away.
Yeah.
You didn't go into business because you wanted to work until you're 90. Doing, step by step. It's really, how do we build longevity in your business? And I think that's the flaw, is that we are inherently taught you exchange your time for money. Therefore, if I spend more time, I will make more money.
Right.
Instead, spend less time in more specific areas. You're going to make more money and, still be able to do all the things that you want to do. That was why we did this in the first place. You have to almost retrain yourself to not think about that dollar for hour exchange.
And that is such a hard mindset to break, because you are constantly focused on, well, I have to make the next dollar because I have this bill to pay. I have to make the next dollar because I have to pay my employees. It's really hard to break that.
It really is. And I think the other piece that goes with that, you're surrounded on a daily basis with people who are not like you.
Right.
If you don't have a strong cohort or a strong group of entrepreneurs that you're connecting with, everyone around you is pushing you to still think about that dollar per hour exchange. So we're so focused on, well, my mom is saying I shouldn't take this risk. My dad is saying I'm wasting my time. My cousin is saying this. My friend says, woohoo, I want to support you, but I'm not going to buy your stuff. And so all of a sudden you start thinking in this scarcity mindset. There's not enough money. There's not enough hours. And then it kind of pulls you back into that mentality of, well, I just need to work harder.
Yeah.
Instead, finding a community, which I know we've talked about, is really powerful, because you're surrounded by people who think like you, and who are living the same life that you are and the same struggles that you are. So you're able to have those hard conversations, but also celebrate the wins that no one else will understand.
Right. So with that being said, how can an entrepreneur develop a smarter business strategy? when it comes to that leads to real growth, because there's a large gap from you making your first $1,000 to your first 75,000.
I think a lot of it comes down to community. I mean, and using these programs it's going to help propel you there faster.
Right.
There's a reason that in SpringGR's case, and honestly, a lot of other incubator programs, that they start with the basics, understanding the basics of a business, moving into how do I build this business, past the first, friends and family financial exchange, all the way to how do I get into this next level program that has a much higher base and requirement in order to be part of the program. I think a lot of it comes down to use the things that you've been taught and then do it over and over and over and over. And one, that repetitive nature is going to make it second. Like, it's just going to make it like you're so used to it. You can absolutely do it in your sleep. And then the other piece that goes with that is it's important to continue those connections.
Yeah.
So if you had a coach or you had a mentor or somebody that you worked with early on, doing even occasional check-ins, having somebody look at you and go, okay, great, but like, did you do the thing?
Right.
That accountability, whether that's from a cohort member, whether that's from a friend, whether that's from a mentor, a coach, I don't care who it is, but that accountability partner who's going to call you on it and isn't afraid to kindly, please make it kind, but kindly call you on, are you doing your stuff? Did you do the thing? Well, I didn't call the guy back because I was afraid he was going to say no to the proposal. Well, then his answer is probably no, because you didn't even bother to call him back.
Yeah.
I love you, but
you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
But in there, sometimes it takes somebody kind of calling you on it. And that's where the community side comes in and that accountability comes in.
Right. I completely agree. So what are some underrated resources that entrepreneurs can tap into for guidance other than using you?
Other than me. So I think resources like coaches and mentors, I think you need to be specific and particular about what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I think finding a specialized coach is one of the best ways to do that, whether that's I'm looking for a coach to help me through systems, I'm looking for a coach to help me through the product or pricing. Having somebody who has a specific niche, even if they can't overhaul your business entirely, they can help you with what one thing you're struggling.
Yeah.
The other pieces, there is a value in reading, continuing to do personal development. You're not going to think bigger unless you force your brain to think bigger.
Right.
So that means if you are an audiobook person, if you're a Blinkist person, man, I am a huge fan, 15 minutes or less of a book, kind of a synopsis, totally down for that. That's driving to pick up kids. Or if you're a book on the nightstand, chapter a night person, that it just has to exist. You have to be learning. And then programs and more connections, opportunities, networking, and utilizing the tools that are in front of you.
Right.
If you have finished the SBA program and you're not tapping into everything that SpringGR grads have, you are missing out.
We have peer-to-peer, we have mentorships, and that goes into my next thing. So SpringGR does provide alumni resources, okay? We give our alumni exclusive access to networking nights, workshops, lunch and learns, expert panels. Your business can be reviewed by mentors. How can entrepreneurs maximize these opportunities to grow their business?
I think really you have to be aware, which means you have to invest in time and energy into knowing I have to build the business differently. And taking time, even if that's, one afternoon a week, I'm going to spend some time working on my business, not in my business. I think declaring that time as sacred is really important because it will pull you out of the day-to-day. I get lost in the business. I think that's the biggest thing is being aware of it and then really spending the time, investing the time and energy into utilizing the tools. Prioritize something, whether that's I'm going to go to one networking event a month.
Yeah.
Whether it's with SpringGR, whether it's in a different event, I'm going to devote some time to doing that expansion. I think those are the biggest things. I think you just have to be aware, you have to seek it out, and you have to deliver. Absolutely. If you want your business to grow, you're not going to do it by doing the same thing over and over. Isn't it Einstein that said the definition of it is insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results? Absolutely. If you're getting the same results and you're not happy with them, stop doing it that way.
Find a different way.
Exactly.
Find a different way. And so we say all of that to say, because this entire episode was just talking about what they're missing. But how do I take that first step? Like, if I feel stuck and I don't know what to do. And I'm hearing all of this. What truly is the first step that I take?
So, okay, I feel like I'm substantially older than you. Did you ever watch How to Be a Millionaire or whatever the game
Yeah.
show is? Okay, phone a friend.
Yes.
That is to me the number one step. It's a connection with somebody who is either in the same boat, a mentor, a connection, and even if it's just to say, I don't know where to go, I don't know what to do first.
Help me.
Help me. Right? I can't. You cannot take the step without one admitting you have a problem,
Right.
and that you need to get outside of the normal for you. But I think phoning that person that is truly in your corner, but somebody who is ahead of where you want to be.
Yeah.
If you have a relationship with somebody who's, in my case, running an agency that's doing $5 million a year in revenue, that's the person I need to connect with, not the person who's doing less than me.
Right.
And I think kind of having that first conversation up is one of the first steps, or a person that's alongside me.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is ask for that help. Or if you don't feel like you have that person, then it's time to invest in it or find the community where you might.
Right. And I believe that, I'm also a marketing professional. So both of us being in the marketing world, I think that lateral move is insane.
Yeah.
Like, even though we both have, marketing based agencies, we're still able to communicate. We're still able to talk, and we're able to share war stories that kind of elevate us and to, allow us to collaborate.
And honestly, I think the idea of competition is dangerous.
It is.
Right? The concept of competition means I have to beat somebody else in order to win.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not true in business. That's old school business. It's not the way that it really makes sense to grow businesses anymore.
Yeah.
Instead, you and I working alongside each other, there are clients that they're not for me. I cannot help them because their expertise or what they need for expertise is not something that I offer or that I can do well. Instead, I have a person that I can go, hey, listen, I am not the person for you, but you need to call her.
Right.
She is the greatest in the market. And I can really tell that from I've worked alongside her. I know exactly who this person is. Having that kind of friend in arms, like we're both pushing for the same thing, but it's not against each other. Mm-hmm. If you win a client over me, then you had a better value proposition. That's
nothing that we can do about that.
I'm so excited for you.
Right.
And that's the way it should be. And that's why, to your point, I think having that kind of lateral friend can be really powerful, so long as both of you can pull each other out of the trenches when you're both having bad days.
Exactly. All right. Well, before we end up, what is one piece of advice that you wish more entrepreneurs would take seriously?
So, tell me you have kids without saying you have kids. We watch Frozen 2 a lot in my house.
Love that.
There is a line from a song that says, do the next right thing. It is not about the end goal. We know where you're going, but you have to take the first step.
Yeah.
And a lot of times as entrepreneurs we see, and we're even taught to envision and kind of speak into existence where we want to be in 5 years, which is a great place to start. Taking that first step, breaking that all the way back to the very beginning is, what do I have to do today? What do I have to do right now? That first step, that next right thing, I think is the one thing that that entrepreneurs are afraid to do. So, I mean, in the words of Anna, do the next right thing. That's the advice.
I love it. So, tell me, where can the people find you?
Oh man, you can find me everywhere.
Yeah.
You can find Flamingo Consulting on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, Flamingo Consulting LLC. You can find my personal brand and professional speaking brand at Flock Her Way, flockherway.com, on Instagram, and on Facebook. And honestly, Smoke Signals, that works too.
Smoke Signals. Love a good messenger pigeon.
Right. I really have to retrain mine. I think those are the big ones. And then find us online at flamingoconsultingllc.com.
Yeah. And we will have all of these resources to connect with Alicia linked below. So if you are interested, you will be able to find her. Alicia, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. This was
providing your expertise. We really appreciate it here at SpringGR. And, we're looking forward to see how you grow to the next markets and what you do and what's your next right thing. Thank you so much for listening. And we'll see you guys on the next episode.